And we are live. You can catch us on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. I guess we're full of shit.
Jacob was the main dancer.
We on? How's over Baz? I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
And I'm Jessica Q.
And today we have a very special guest that came in today. He's a Yeehaw today. So why don't you give us a...
Yeehaw.
Is that a word? Is that a word?
Yeehaw, baby.
He made it one.
But we wanted to, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience and
Sure.
let everybody know a little bit about you and who you are and what you do.
All right. So my name is Haas Rutnaika. I'm a lifelong Riverside resident, business owner, and I do real estate, property management. I have my own brokerage here in the city of Riverside. And we manage about 100 residential properties, but my start didn't begin there. It was actually in another business. So been a lifelong entrepreneur, and here I am today to tell my story.
Cool. So what kind of other business are we talking about? Let's start from there. Like, how you got your start in entrepreneurship?
So basically, out of high school, I was somewhat involved in politics, but politics, you really don't make much money. So needed a job. I went to community college in Huntington Beach, Golden West Community College, and I tried to apply for several places to provide for myself, my family, my mom, and sister, and so applied to CarMax, applied to IKEA, applied to Bed Bath & Beyond, and got denied. This is about 14 years ago now, so I did that, and before I got into my business I'm going to mention to you, I finally got a job selling almonds at farmers markets in Orange County. So my good friend and I, John, we were selling nuts at farmers markets, and we would go, "Hey, best nuts in the world!" You know,
hey, no Diddy.
yeah. None of that. No, it's all PG. It's all fresh almonds from Kern County. So we did that, and I got the idea. It was like, John and I were sitting at the parking lot at Tyler Mall Galleria, and we're like, "What the hell are we selling somebody else's product for when we can sell our own?" And I had a kind of a connection of an orange farm here in Riverside. Riverside, well known for its orange and citrus industry, decided, hey, pick some fruit, sell it at farmers markets. So we did that for 3 years, and because again nobody was hiring, I'm like, what the hell? I'd clean a toilet if I could. Wouldn't even get that job. So it led on.
See what it is? It's the brown, man. They don't want to hire us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we created our own business, Raincross Orange Company, and we sold basically, picked oranges. And sold at farmers markets. We did that for 3 years. We had about 14 farmers markets, Thursday through Sunday typically, and then rest on 3 days. And believe it or not, it was a lot of work. I mean, we literally picked the day before. We also got into selling grapefruits, picking some lemons.
Was it juices or anything too, or just
we did. Yeah, we did do some orange juice, which I believe it or not, I was selling a half gallon for $20. So
wow.
I was making,
and this is 14 years ago.
He's all bad. I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah, well, the citrus industry back then and the farmers markets were kind of still becoming a thing, and so yeah, I was selling a half gallon for $20, and
because it was rare. It was hard
it was
to find,
because it was just freshly squeezed and
right off the brick.
Yeah, like right off the brick. So it was literally just like freshly squeezed, and we literally had the best navel oranges right off of Victoria and Monroe Street. I mean, it was like candy, like Jolly Rancher, just sugar and sour. It was just perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
So people loved it, and we actually got so much attention at one point that one of the customers at it was the Great Park Farmers Market, and she's like, "You guys got to sell this in Utah." We're like, "Utah? Our buddy lives in Utah. I mean, we're thinking about it." So we picked about 3,500 pounds of citrus. Jesus. Took us like 4 days. And John's joke, and I don't know how you want to go far. I don't know the show too much, but
Hey,
Whatever goes.
everything goes on
yeah.
this show.
So John's joke, which I grew up with racism and all that, but John's joke would be, we're the last white guys picking. Now I'm not a white guy, but that was our thing. Was just and Jessica kind of knows my old business partner, but that was our thing.
Yeah,
Like we were out of high school, nobody was hiring. We created our own business. And basically, we're picking fruit, selling it at farmers markets, and we sold 3,500 pounds of navel oranges in West Jordan, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I know West Jordan.
Sold out literally in 4 days, and we're like, we planned for like a week, made $5,000, which wasn't bad. Like back then, we're thinking, okay,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you the funny part of that twist of the story. So we literally was like, thinking 1 week we'll sell out, sold out quickly. So we partied a little bit, had fun, but literally that money
Like
went
we
to
always
fixing.
do at the beginning.
Of course.
And they were drinking screwdrivers.
Exactly, yeah. There was a little bit left over, some screwdrivers.
Vodka and orange juice.
So basically did that, and then with that money went straight to fixing our trucks. So it didn't, but it was a good learning experience, and that was towards the end of our
And a hustle. I mean, you're doing hard work.
And you were picking it.
Oh yeah,
3,500 pounds in 4 days?
4 days, yeah, 3-4 days it took us. I mean, just a 5-acre orchard of navel oranges, and we didn't take the lemons or grapefruit at the time because it was like the oranges where we were selling $2 a pound. So I think it's still like not even that price in the grocery stores, but
Dang.
because it was organic, it was fresh, it was literally the best of the best. And sometimes people just bought it because of us. It goes back to sales. Sometimes you may have a product and the product's good, that's great, but it's really yourself is what you're selling, and people trust you. And that's how it transfers over to the next venture, which is my real estate.
Okay, so I do want to go back on that because I like that you said
Sure.
that because that's really cool. For our audience, we bring a lot of entrepreneurs on the show, and so when it comes back to the sales side of things, when you were selling the product, how did you present that product? What was your pitch? Or I'm not saying you need to go over your pitch or anything, but what was like, if you want to go over your pitch or
Sure.
like how you even went about that, because that's good money that you were making for that product.
People wouldn't even think that. You know what I mean?
I would
Nowadays,
even think
for
to do
oranges.
that. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna laugh. The first farmers market we ever did was in Sun City. We made like $30, and we're like, "What the hell did we get ourselves into?" Literally, first market. We're talking 2000 and I want to say 12. Time error. I'm a little distorted, but literally, when first farmers market was there, made like $30-$40, and we're like, "Oh my god, this is miserable." For two guys, it's nothing. That just is for gas, because gas prices were like in the 5s at that time. If you think about it.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
So then we had another farmers market. It was the Sunday farmers market at the Tyler Mall, Riverside Sunday farmers market.
What did you think that you did wrong there? Did you feel you did anything wrong? Or it was just the customers?
No, the crowd.
The crowd.
Understand
Okay.
your demographic, right?
Okay,
so
cool,
you're talking
cool.
about Hemet, lower income.
yeah.
You're talking,
Hemet.
set income, right?
Tweakers.
These are
Tweakerville.
not only that, you got a lot of seniors that are living there
On
that are
fixed
like
incomes,
on fixed,
yep,
fixed
you're
income.
right.
They can't afford. So when they hear $2 a pound, they're like, I can go to Rouse for like 30 cents a pound.
Yeah.
So
you
our
would have made
bud-
a killing on selling crack though out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So luckily, I'm not in that business. Thank God, I'm all above board. So, but our orders were like crack.
citrus flavor.
They were like crack. So coming from the almonds and having connections from the farmers markets in Orange County, a little bit of LA and San Diego, we started going and opening up a booth there. And I'll tell you that to go to your question earlier is that basically you have a 10 by 10 booth and 2 tables, and we made these little things to hold the oranges. You take it out of your little picking bin or whatever you want to call it, put it in this square little thing to hold
Basket
it,
or something?
and you make a pyramid out of it. So we're
Okay.
going back to the Egyptian days.
Picturing it.
Made a pyramid out of it, and what we did is best oranges in house. And if a person was walking by, I'd go, hey, if you're wearing a red hat, you like fresh oranges. Or if you're walking a dog and it was like a unique dog, if you like Great Danes, you like fresh oranges. Something stupid, but it caught people. And I was literally cat calling or cold calling, or not cold calling, but I was literally yelling out, and that's how we made a name for ourselves. We were the people that basically we were going to get your business one way or another, even if you didn't like oranges. we were going to get your business. And some people just bought it like, hey, we see you hustling every day. I'm going to buy some. I got an orange tree back there that I haven't picked, but we like you guys. And we also sampled. So I had like my knife. I'd pull it out and here, try this. And oh my
So
God.
it sounds like you made it like an experience. It
It was
wasn't
a whole
just like you're like, you brought the energy and everybody got excited. They wanted to talk to you and they're like, you know what? You gave them that energy that time. So they're like, okay, I'll take a bag or two.
Two young guys didn't have much. Really, that was it. That was their only job that we could obtain at the time.
And it took how long for you guys to start making like where you was like, okay, we can do this? Like
After our second or third market, our second market, like going back to that one in Riverside Sunday, which is still there to this day, we made $90. We're like, okay, this, not bad. Couple hours, like 4 hours, like it's something, some progress.
Yeah.
So once we started tapping in, because everybody here in the Inland Empire, Riverside, they have citrus. We started venturing out selling other products like cherries and plums and all that. We worked with another vendor, and anyways, we carried both certificates, ag certs, and then we went out and just San Diego to Orange County, a little bit in Riverside, and did it for 3 years basically, and then we realized I don't know if we want to do a fruit slinger for the rest of our lives. It was something where it was like, okay, it was a lot,
But you learned a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what made you. I see. The thing is too is I own a business, right? So when before I was learning a lot of different things and for businesses that I was trying to start, but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been the salesperson I am today for my business.
Right.
So I mean that just made you who you are.
Yeah. Oh, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, it was sink or swim at certain points, right? So yeah, so let's go into what you're doing now.
Yeah, so basically did that, like I said, for 3 years, and it was 2000, basically end of 2014 or so, and just like, I don't know if we want to do this for the rest of our lives. It was, it was a lot of work. And at that time, the farmers market type was changing. So I've always had a passion for real estate. I've always, as a kid growing up, I'd love to run up to the flyer box at a house for sale, run up and grab the flyer and just look at it and be like, oh, that's a cool house. I just loved houses. And I did that. And I wish I started real estate earlier, right out of high school, because you can start at 18, but the experiences from selling produce and everything else led to that was really almost in a perfect timing, right? And
Well, I think that would be pretty hard to sell produce too, like that. So I mean, I think you probably learned a lot doing
talking to
that,
people
right?
and-
I don't.
being a little bit more open and out of the shell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting to real estate, in 2014 and got licensed October 23rd, 2014 is the exact date. Salesperson license where I passed my exam. I'm going to be coming to 10 years exactly. I'm about dates. I don't know why I remember them real easily, but and so here we are, basically 10 years later. I was working under a brokerage. And the brokerage was really phenomenal. It gave me the tools I needed to, build my clientele list and meet with people, understand the trade, understand real estate. But I've always done my own thing. I'm the kind of guy that does not like to work under other people. I'm the kind of guy that sets my schedule that fits me.
It's an entrepreneur.
And what makes sense to me makes sense to me. It may not make sense to others. And so, that was a way and tool used to be able to do that. And we felt like real estate, for someone that dropped out of college, couldn't finish or didn't want to finish. It was more about at a time when the economy was still a little shaky. And I was like, I really got to start making money. I'm a person of not having debt in my life. And at the time, coming from the produce industry, we dealt with cash, right? So cash was king. I mean, we were doing pretty well for ourselves, considering. And, it was just like, okay, how long is that going to last? And it started dying off. So getting to real estate, a little bit different. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about your real estate journey. So how long you been doing that now?
10 years.
10 years.
So, yeah, I've been doing it for 10 years. So I started in 2014, October, became a broker 3 years later, October 24,
Oh, you're a broker too now.
2017. And then that's when I ventured off. John and I ventured off, had our own brokerage, Haas and John
Oh,
Real
wow.
Estate.
Okay, wait. I want you to tell them about your. I was telling you about this. Remember, I told you that he had this like moving billboard.
Yeah.
And there was something on it that was just like
Not
so
one
funny.
Oh,
of those-
yeah,
like one of those signs.
No,
like,
it was.
It's a 10 by 20 foot mobile billboard, and for our real estate, you know, we have crazy ideas to market ourselves. We're all about humor, right? Dry humor, crude humor, however you want to call it. It was our way of breaking out, doing our own thing. How many people know a realtor? Almost everybody can raise their hand in this room, and if you take a crowd of 100, you'll all raise their hand. So how do you venture off and stand out on yourself is different, and that's what we did. We always broke the ice. We always done things differently. We always meant well. We never had any means to screw anybody over or anything like that. Always about ethics and morale. But but we did stuff funny.
Yeah.
So we had this 10 by 20 foot mobile billboard, and it had some funny stuff.
10 by 20. Okay, so
Like, just imagine a billboard that you would see like on a freeway. You know, it's
On the
200
floor.
square feet,
yeah,
but it's
like
on
they
a
would
trailer.
pull
It's on a
it.
double
It's a
axle.
trailer.
Oh,
It's a double axle trailer.
Did you
both
guys
sides.
build it?
No, we got it. It was custom made.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of money, and then we put some stuff and so on one side, I don't care. It's a fun show, and I'll give you some excitement here. So on one side, it said "open house," arrow pointing this way, and it has like me like squatting, holding the arrow or something like that. And then John, my business partner, no longer. We're still friends. He just moved to a different state, and I'm still running the brokerage. And basically it said, John says in his word bubble says, "Get DP from us." And I go and I say, he means down payment assistance, you know? So, like, you know, we did a little bit of wordplay there. And some people probably thought it was really crude, and some people didn't get it. And
I didn't get it. I remember going, "What does that mean?"
yeah, and it was just one of those things, stupid, funny stuff. You know, since then I kind of covered it up because I think a lot of people.
but nowadays people take shit to that.
Oh, man.
Up the ass now.
They get offended.
No point intended.
You
but-
talk about 10 years ago,
Yeah,
you talk about a time then versus
it's
now.
different.
Yeah,
They're like, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying?
The-
Like, what
yeah,
the fuck?
everybody's easily
What
offended.
house?
these
What
days.
house is it?
Yeah, so
They're all knocking on your door.
yeah, exactly.
But coming from a marketing perspective, that was
funny.
insanely genius because
Yeah.
it did catch people's attention and just the billboard. You know,
Yeah.
you guys used to drive around with that around town.
I still have it. It's just a lot of work to move around, going at places. You know, sometimes
I'm interested.
Yeah,
We'll talk later about
oh,
it.
you're interested? Oh, I still
Yeah.
have it. I don't know if I'll get rid of it. We'll talk. Yeah,
Maybe I can use it.
But yeah, but anyways, so it's good stuff. Yeah. So, but then you were going to some other questions. Just kind of so became a broker in 2017, and then just like I said, ventured off after that. Been a broker since. And then I just did a merger. I bought a property management company, and so we
Oh,
merged.
wow.
Nice,
So we
congrats.
merged.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we merged whatever rental properties I was managing with them, and then I've been growing the business since. And so, yeah,
What kind of property management?
residential primarily.
Oh,
Yeah,
mostly
mainly
residential?
residential. A little bit of commercial, but not a whole lot. That's not my area of expertise. I know it. I just don't. More of my thing is residential, where I get in there, and if it's a vacant property and it needs renovations, boom, I'm already telling the owner, you're going to do this, this, and this, so we can get top value.
Did you get that lead I sent you a few days ago? I sent somebody
You
over-
did.
I don't know if you're able to work
yeah.
with
She's trying to collect.
Yeah.
No.
She needs her commission.
Yeah, not much commission on that. I mean, I don't
No,
charge anybody in the
I don't
front
care.
end,
I like
but-
helping my friends.
But I try to help them out. But yeah, we'll talk about it.
How does that work? I've been seeing a lot of people like not the gin homes, but like as far as like when it comes to like you have a house in the front, and I heard like I think it's this year where you could build property on so many units on your property.
Additional dwelling units,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, and
So it depends on the area,
and then-
cities and such. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut
and then
you
when
off.
you leave, like say if you leave the main house, you can still run those properties too. I heard.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just like anything else. I mean, you basically here in the city of Riverside, there's a lot of available space for homes. Because here in Inland Empire, Riverside specifically, we have most homes have a huge lot.
Yeah.
Some of them that have already a detached garage. It's California. Nobody's not parking in the garage. They park out on the street or on the driveway. Sometimes in the lawn. What do they have? What do they
Riverside
have?
for sure.
Yeah. What do they have in the garage or the detached garage? Usually storage crap and stuff. So what do? Is get rid of all that stuff. They convert it into an additional dwelling unit. Put a kitchen, make it a studio, 1 bedroom. Then they rent it out for anywhere from, depending on the area and what you have to offer, $1,500 to $2,500 a month. And so that becomes a rental property for them, extra income, as they are then living in their main house, and then they're building equity and such, and then eventually they're like, hey, I can now buy another house, rent the main house out. Depending on the lot size and everything else, you may be able to build multiple or just one. You can do what's called a junior ADU as well. So there's several options there. But
it comes down to your city and what they permit, right?
Yeah, like so. We'll talk about the Wood Streets here, kind of in the downtown area where it's more historical. A lot of the neighbors, including myself, I don't want to be living in a neighborhood that is surrounded by all these additional houses being built.
Yeah, that
because
sounds terrible.
They're renters, they're tenants. Most of the time, they don't take care of the neighborhood.
They don't give a shit.
They don't care.
respect
They just
it.
disrespect it. These are homes that are built. My house is over 100 years old, 1906. These are beautiful homes that should not be disrespected with what the intention of it was. And I get it for some purposes, like let's say you have a mom, an elderly mother or father that is sick, and you want them to be with you so you can take care of them. That is one thing to then convert that and make it like a mother-in-law suite or a casita. That is one thing. But
then you
and
get
you're still living in
squatters.
the main house. But
Yeah.
I hate to say it, I sold a house last year. Did not know what this guy was going to do. 100-year-old home, 1923 built, on 10th Street in Brockton. And literally $13.50 was a square foot of the main house. He chopped it up in half, put two-bedroom, one-bath units inside. There was a detached garage and put it into one bedroom and just rented it out. And you just literally changed the whole form of that craftsman house. And to get it back to original, it'd just be tons of money, and it just wouldn't make sense. Now, I'm all about capitalism, all about free market. I'm, about that, but certain areas you just don't want to necessarily mess with because then you also lose value. People pay a lot of money to live in this neighborhood specifically. They want a Spanish-style home, a craftsman, a Tudor. They want that. You don't find these homes with character anymore.
Yeah, that's
true.
wild. I feel like they're kind of. That instance sounds like the dude was just doing it to make money.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you know what? There's people like that all the time. He's very successful. I think he's a great guy as a person. And frankly, I wish I bought it then, not knowing that that was going to be the case. But
If you would have known what he was going to do with it, would you have sold it to him?
no, it's not my decision. I was.
Or would you have showed it? Would you have showed that house to him?
It's a free market. If he put an offer, seller accepted it. I have no say so whatsoever.
Your job is to sell the house.
My job is to represent the client. But it is a sad thing, and it was unfortunate what happened. But it is what it is, and that's just such as life.
Yeah. I'm so interested in hearing about the transition from going to a real estate agent to then having your own brokerage. I've heard of that, but I've never heard, how does that work? How does it change your business and, the way that you're doing business?
Yeah, I mean, being a broker is quite different. You actually assume a lot more responsibility and all liability. Your firm, your brokerage. You can work for a Coldwell Banker, a Keller Williams, a Century 21, all these. Typically, that brokerage will, be the responsible party, and then you have agents that work underneath it that will fall under that.
What's the name of your brokerage?
It's Haas and John Real Estate. Very basic, yeah. So, I bought another company. It's Best Property Management and Realty. So there's that part. But going back to it though, and this is more we're like a boutique kind of brokerage. I mean, I just took on I take clients anywhere from Imperial Beach to all the way down to Dinuba. So, which is
where's that?
Up in Dinuba, south of Fresno. So,
oh wow,
I go for the clients. That's my thing. I don't. It's not. I have my area, which is here. But if a client says we want you because we like what you can do,
you'll go wherever.
Because that's just
cool.
that to me shows how much I'm worth, and that to me shows the loyalty and commitment.
Yeah.
And that's what I have for my clients. But to answer your question of being a broker in that transition, it's not easy. It's not for everybody. Again, there's a lot more responsibilities. Mm-hmm. The advantage is that, yes, you can have other agents that work under you, and then you can have what's called the broker commission split between that agent and you, the brokerage.
Do you have a lot of employees under you?
No.
Okay.
Do you plan? No?
I don't want that liability.
That's what I was going to say. It's a lot of
So
liability.
you're running the whole thing by yourself?
As far as now I have staff that works for my property management side.
That's what I wanted to ask. Okay, because property management is a different beast. I've never met anybody that owns a property management.
Yeah.
So my friend, he owned a plumbing company, and I went in to help him with his business on doing sales. So I went in and I pulled a bunch of property management companies for him so he can start doing a bunch of work for them.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about property management, but owning one, how is that? I mean, what is that even like?
Basically, you're a service that facilitates, represents the owner, and renting their property out, keeping up to market value for rent, keeping it up to habitability, making sure that the unit itself is habitable enough for the tenants so that they don't have any issues with that. Basically, finding a tenant, taking care of repairs. So if you got a roof leak, or you got, especially with the heavy rains this past season, we had quite a bit of roof leaks. So then what I do is I facilitate a work order request, and I contact my vendor list of who's able to come out and give me bids to replace the roof or repair the roof. And that's basically what property management is.
Yeah,
and also keep up to date with the market.
How do you make money owning a property management?
You charge a service fee. It's a monthly service fee that
to the
owner.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't charge. I mean, the tenants pay us as the brokerage, and then we pay the owner. We take our fee out, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm sure the owner ups the price of the monthly rent
as time goes
to pay
on.
pay you, right?
Well, it's not even just to pay me. It's just to
make money.
Well, it's a service. Any service you do, if you want to hire somebody to sell your house, it's a certain percentage of sell your house.
Is it good money though? Because I would never even. I don't understand that business. So I've never even.
Depends on what you'd consider good money. I mean, for me, it's a living for me. It makes sense to me. Is it a lot of work? Absolutely. I was up on a roof earlier today. I was, I was up in the mountains yesterday in Crestline doing a walkthrough. So I do have a staff. I do have a bookkeeper. I do have a repair guy. I do have a leasing guy. But it's really I like to be the face because you're
really in it. That's cool.
I'm really in it, but it's also why the clients that hire me get the service and why they go with me is because I give them myself. I'm available. There's a ton of accessibility to me. Any time of the day, I'm usually available for a phone call or in person. I'm very hands-on. I have callous hands. I literally, and Jessica, you've seen some of my videos of me literally going on 2-story roofs or going on a roof because
cleaning
my
up yards and
just random stuff.
Doing everything.
Now I don't have to do that. That's not part of the job.
Yeah.
But that's the service.
He goes
I
above
give.
and beyond.
And that's why people go to you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
does that help you with your real estate owning a property management company because you get access to all these houses, all these homes?
Yeah. So that business model for me makes sense. Again, there's a lot of people.
Produces leads.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like you're a real thinker, man.
I'm not reinventing the wheel. This is something that's been going on for many years.
Okay.
But I think a lot of people may or may not know of it in the real estate world.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
That's I like this because this is literally so new for me. We bring so many entrepreneurs on the podcast.
Yeah.
This is my first of our property management owner.
Yeah. And I'll give you, be more than happy to give you another guy to talk to about third generation property management and his experience because he's a good friend of mine and we're buddies. We talk about stuff. We've been in the industry for a long time and you should probably hear his opinion and what he thinks. But as far as mine and what makes sense for me in transitioning, I still do real estate sales. I probably average anywhere from 14 to 20 deals a year, roughly, which is not a lot, but for one person, just doing the sales part of it, absolutely, fine.
Yeah.
Because I know what my worth is, so I'm also not cheap. I go at a premium, but I also give a premium.
Yeah.
So like tomorrow, my client's moving to Florida. She low income again, set income. She's about roughly 70 years of age. She's like, I just can't live it out here anymore. Unfortunately, I got to move. She's moving in with her niece tomorrow. And I'm getting the keys, and basically she gives me free will I got to do touch-up paint here, paint the patio deck, paint the patio cover, all these things, repairs, put a microwave in, and those are stuff that I do and go above and beyond.
And then you're going to be renting the property for her?
This one I'm actually selling.
Okay,
but yeah, this one I'm actually selling. But it's the same thing if I were to rent. If I feel like hypothetically speaking, you put $1,000 here, you get $5,000 here. It's a no-brainer, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where again my expertise comes in to the subject of matter here, which is either renting or selling, saying if you just put $1,000 here, this is what you can get.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're a handyman too, so you can actually come in and kind of do a little remodeling, which saves you a lot of money. Right?
I am handy. I've renovated with other partners. Physically, I've actually myself down on my knees and hands putting flooring in to paint and stuff like that. But now I just have my vendors go in. I have my you guys need a flooring guy, a plumber. You guys need a leak detection specialist. You guys need a roofer, electrician. Just about anything I have. A tree guy that just only cuts trees, and at reasonable cost.
Anytime I've had any issues with my house, I'll post it on Facebook. I'm like, I need somebody that does this. And he always comments or sends me a text. I got this guy. Call him.
Yeah.
Well, listening to you talk, I'm hearing that you are very passionate about that business, like homes.
Oh, yeah.
Hands on.
Because you don't need to be on that roof. You don't need to be doing any of that stuff.
No.
But it sounds like you're real passionate about that. Why do you think that? Is this something you've always been passionate about?
I've been dedicated to the job and the title and the service.
So are you always dedicated to the service that you provide in anything you do?
If I put my name onto it, it's going to get shit done.
There's not a lot of people like that anymore.
No.
So I'm listening to you talk, and I can see that you're very hardcore dedicated to that.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that I do, and it's just funny. I mean, you can see the videos. I mean, and I don't even do it. I just do it to show that this is what I'm able to do, and that's really a lot of people are like, damn, he just, that's why I want that guy, And it's not about just getting on top of the roof and, risking your life. I'll sign a waiver to the owners like, hey, if I fall, I fall. That's my own risk. I do it because I know that I see a problem, and if I have the means to fix it or alleviate some sort of stress for the owner and the tenant, alleviate some of that, then I will. Mm-hmm. I'm an able-bodied person. I can do those things. I'm not licensed by any means, so I'm not trying to portray that I'm a contractor. But again, I'm not also charging the client. And if I'm going to put myself in a risky situation, I will assume that liability.
I want to ask you a question. So where does that work ethic come from? Because that's a really old school, hardcore work ethic, and you don't see that a lot.
Yeah, it goes back to my mom's side of the family. My mom, love her, God bless her. I mean, hardworking woman. There's a thing of working hard, and you can work hard to the day you die, but there's also a thing called working smart.
Yeah.
And so I learned from working hard from my mom and also my great uncle and my grandpa and a few other people.
What did they do?
Life. So my mom's a preschool teacher, kindergarten teacher at a local Montessori school here. In Riverside, and she's been doing that for 30 plus years. She immigrated from Sri Lanka. I did too. I came here when I was 5 months old. And so basically, teaches kids, different methods of, learning. And did that. And then my great uncle owned the Montessori school, but he was in banking in Sri Lanka as well as, I believe, Oman. And my great grandfather was in banking for 40 plus years, maybe 50 years in Oman, so in Africa. So
you believe that your work ethic came from them, like watching them and seeing how they do things?
Yeah, that old school mentality of just you work, you either use your hands, use your brain, you do something, but you're working.
So you decided to use both, bring them together, and make good money.
Absolutely. Good money. Depending on that, it's really more of a means that fits for me.
Yeah, I love that you said that. Too.
Yeah,
it sounds
it's
really
not
good.
like I mean, there's anybody can always do better, and anybody can excel at something and do extremely better than what you're doing now. But for me, it makes sense. But it's taken me this long to get here to be in this position to be able to even speak to you about it. Mm-hmm. It's those experiences. It's the dedication. It's the sweat equity. Is what it really is.
I love that. That's a good one.
So it's something that, I may not be getting paid for this for the first couple years, but I know and I see the vision that if I just keep busting my ass, keep grinding every day, and fulfilling that service to the client and going above, that sweat equity becomes a value. And then you know what your worth is. And for me, that's when I started discovering what my worth is. When I know what my competition's doing and what I'm doing.
There's no comparison, huh?
There are comparisons, absolutely. I'm not saying I'm the best at all, but I do.
You're
offer
striving
that.
to be the
I'm
best.
striving to
Yeah.
be the best, and I'm passionate.
Best for you, what you
Exactly.
do, right?
Yeah, I know there's other guys who can be better than me, and God bless them. Great for them. I
But in
I
your
can't
lane,
match that.
you're
but
the best.
So I want to ask you a question. Your mom being a hard worker and all that
Yeah.
stuff, even with your uncle, I'm not sure, but I wanted to ask you, what do they say to you about what you do now? Are they proud of how you work and how you put all this together? Like, have they said anything to you?
I think, coming from an Eastern, there's a joke going around, but it's more of my Keith. More of a guy
Go
that
ahead,
I'm really
go
good friends
ahead,
with. But
Bring
I'm
it on.
Sri Lankan background, so the Sri Lankan wannabe cowboy, whatever you want to call it. But the joke is, I'm not, it's really Indian, but that's the ancestral roots. It's coming from India. But I'm prideful of where I came from, but I'm more American than anything else. That being said, I think my mom wishes I would have probably, like any ethnic background, descent, or that matriarch type of motherly love is like, I wish you were a doctor or a scientist and all that. And it's like, I found something that fitted me, and that's what I'm executing, and that's what I'm going to do. And so I think she deep down is proud. I think that it's more so she wishes I could have done better. And just like any parent, of that descent, that background, they're going to want, that's like, they portray as, being a doctor, a lawyer, something like that is only successful when really there's
so many other
there's
ways.
millions of other things that you can do.
Nowadays, I mean, I had a friend that was doing plumbing. He was making more than his doctor. So you know what I mean? So they don't know how much money is in certain things that you do when you have your own business.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's an old school mentality, but at the
how it
same
looks.
time,
It's the perception.
it's
It's
just
the
you're a
perception.
doctor, you're making all this money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know a plumber that made more money than a doctor. you
Yeah,
know?
and but that though comes more physical labor.
Yeah,
so
it
you're
does,
doing,
too.
maybe your life
you're right.
expectancy of being a plumber is shortened in length versus being
And that's true.
a doctor.
I had a friend that passed away because he was a plumber because he kept smelling that I forget what it's called, but
Shit?
basically that's basically what it is though. It's smelling all the waste.
Yeah, all that shit over the 10 years.
Yeah.
He crapped out, man.
Yeah, so
That shit killed him.
Literally.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But that goes in the trades industry where I think, and this may be a little off topic for our
no,
conversation,
we can go way off topic. We're ADHD over here, man.
I like it. Change the podcast, the ADHD podcast.
That's a good one.
No, I mean, really what I think and I'd like to see in in this generation is more trades work. More people taking on a trade and being that. We need more plumbers, electricians. We need more iron workers. We need more just guys that are, not guys, people that are willing to see this as a way to, I don't have to go to college. And this is where all the, we'll be canceled because of me saying this.
Nah,
but,
fuck that.
but you get my
Dude,
point.
yeah,
I'm
I know what you mean.
I'm making a joke right
Yeah.
now.
The e-schools, I think they call it e-schools. Now they're starting to teach trades because that's where it starts.
Well,
at.
that thing is
It
AI.
starts in schools.
You said you haven't really been paying attention a lot to AI, right?
I understand it, but I don't, I don't care for it.
Yeah, so AI is taking over a lot of people's jobs, writers and everything.
Yeah.
Trades are the only thing that's going to be probably existing for a longer period of time. Like AI can't just do plumbing.
Yeah.
There's so much diagnostic that go into it. Mechanic, electrician, all that stuff.
Physical work.
Physical work, AI can't do right now, right? So that thing is, it's already the amount of money that's being paid is already increasing like crazy right now.
Yeah.
Like mechanics were making, I have a decent repair shop. Mechanics were making a minimum wage, and now they're starting like at $30 an hour, and they don't really know anything.
Right.
So it's just jumping up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, going in from there.
It's the schools that are doing it. They, you know what I mean. The only thing they're teaching is what, home ec and maybe
Yeah.
Well,
maybe-
basic needs,
maybe a shop class, maybe. You know what I mean?
Basic not class, basic life skills, life things. Because back then too, I really didn't have that. I didn't have anybody teaching me that. What was my father at the time? You can call was YouTube. That's where I learned a lot of things because I was the kind of guy. Well, I didn't have a lot of money to pay someone to do it, but I'm like, I think I can do this. So let me go on YouTube and figure it out, and I did. And that's just through life in general. But if you had trade schools opened up or some sort of intermediate school like intro to auto shop in high school level.
Yeah, for sure.
Metal shop, carpentry, all that stuff. Those are the things that we really need again.
Yeah, we do.
In this generation,
It's hard to find good work or good help for that kind of stuff.
I remember filling out my first application when I after I graduated high school. I was on the phone with my mom the whole time filling it out. But it's like, damn, like why they didn't teach me this
Yo,
in high
mama.
school?
Yeah,
Mama,
the
you
things
know
that
what I
they
mean?
should be teaching us,
Application, you know
like
what I
how
mean?
to
I was-
handle
yeah.
money, save
Exactly.
money.
I mean, they should be teaching you how to do your taxes, all kinds
Yeah.
of shit, but they're not teaching any of that
No.
stuff.
They don't want us to know.
because it's rather they make money on you guys everybody being on debt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know.
That's how it does.
That's how.
So I want to ask you a question too. So on this podcast, we ask a lot of you're an entrepreneur, so there comes like a set of skills and things that we kind of came up with that makes an entrepreneur that they got to have in basically on their list to be an entrepreneur. So I kind of wanted to ask you some of these questions. So I want to go with this one. So what is a leader to you? What would you define as a leader?
Basically, I mean, to me, someone that takes responsibility or their own accountability, right? You know, you may have an employee, you can tell them, you know, this, and this, but sometimes that person may not get what you're talking about and having them do it. So being a leader is showing by example. And throughout life, I've had people, you know, that I've sought counsel from that have been able to show that to me. I just know how to go and do stuff, but then I'm not going to be able to do this for, you know, me physically every single time going up. As time goes up, moves on, we grow and we excel in our business and we create growth. So I'm not going to be able to go to all these properties and do what I do. I'll still do it, but to a certain extent. But how to have someone else carry on that and work under me or such, then I have to show by example. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've always said this for many years. It's just that no one can do a better job than yourself. If you truly are passionate about it and believe it, and you just, you know, I don't know anything about podcasts or anything, so I would suck at it. But you talk about real estate, property management, I'll know about that. And so leading by example and showing, you know, that's how I'd say.
I also want to bring something up real quick because you really took the initiative to step up and be a leader in your community, and we haven't brought that up yet. Yeah. And I know you didn't get the results that you wanted, but you did amazing, and you ran for City Council Ward 1 of City of Riverside. So we were running at the same time, literally. And let's talk about that. What inspired you to want to make a difference in the city of Riverside?
Sure. Like I said in the very beginning, I lived here my entire life. You know, you can practically say I was born and raised here, but I came here 5 months old, literally down the street, downtown Riverside. And you know, I've seen the changes. You know, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've seen it when Riverside was good to me. I've seen it when it was bad, and I see it where it's ugly. Right now, we're at ugly phase.
Oh, yeah.
It's not pretty. Every corner you go throughout Riverside, mainly downtown and the east side, you see, and the north side as well, you just see homeless encampments everywhere. And I literally from my house to here, I just around this block of downtown, I'm driving like 20, 30 times a day, just going around, just back and forth, and you'll just see either a tent or a guy whacked out of his mind on the streets, or I just saw a guy like near the freeway pass, like literally just taking a dump. And it's just like, what the heck? And you know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago in Riverside, you didn't see that shit. Now, I did see people panhandling about 10 years ago or 14 years ago off the freeways. That was about it. And you could count on your hand how many people were doing that. Yeah. But now, it's changed. It's changed
it's
night
really
and day. And I was knocking on doors, talking to people, getting to know my neighbors. And, you know, like, oh, it's not as bad. I said, where'd you come from? Oh, I came from L.A., a couple years ago. And I said, you left because of this, yeah? I said, watch what's going to happen here. It's going to be in LA if we don't do anything. And that's why I kind of wanted to step up, because I said I saw the current city council truly not representing the people. They were self-serving their own agenda. Whatever that is, which is, you know, really pushing, you know, these homeless, not encampments, but, you know, these programs to where if you build it, they will come. We should not be the epicenter of the homeless industrial complex.
No.
South San Francisco did it, and it's failed. And here we are in Riverside, and we're continuously going that route.
Well, they make money off the homeless, right?
So, so is Riverside.
So that's why they want the home.
Well, it's how you allocate the costs and who's really in charge of that, right? So that you can look at the people that are operating these homeless shelters, and are they really getting the treatment to the people, or are they saying, oh well, there's no intake outtake? It was like the numbers maybe seem a little skew, but I looked at a place over off of Massachusetts Avenue, and they said that anybody can come to their facility if they needed help, and if they have the bed, they will go there, and they can leave the next day. And I just did a simple okay, so what about the sheets? And their biggest cost at this place was how much money they're spending on washing sheets.
Laundry.
Because I can just show up for one day and then the next day I leave. Is that really helping somebody? Are we helping them? Are we giving them a hand up or a hand out?
Yeah.
Is really what it goes to. So, I was really wanting to focus on a hand up. I don't want to just, me being in property management, I don't want to just, I don't give keys to anybody to move into this place. The city of Riverside's like, oh, we just moved so-and-so from the river bottom, into their own house. It's like, I do a credit check, background check, I do all these things. And again, why are we giving it to them? Now, and there's no timeline on that contract. So basically, you're just giving free housing. You can, open-ended contract. I can be there for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And it's like, wait a minute.
Well, what's sad is the middle class are the ones struggling so bad, and we were just talking about that. The rich is getting richer, and the poor get everything for free.
Well, I think everybody in the middle, the middle America across the board is gone like this. There's not really, yes, you do have the very rich, the elitists in the world, and you have the people that are, below poverty. Then you have the middle, and the middle part.
They pay for everything,
which is fine. But it's more so that people want to excel in life. They just want to do better. They want to get to that next level of their life, whether if it's home ownership or whether it's just moving from an apartment rental to a house rental in life. They just want to get that. But that gap becomes harder. And when we are saying, hey, come to Riverside, we're going to give you keys to a place, and people see that, we're getting all of them dumped over here. And the more people you have, that's taxpayer money that we're trying to, and that's not allocating it properly.
No, it's not.
I believe in short term. I don't believe in long term solutions. Basically saying, again, giving the keys to somebody, and you can stay here as long as you want, or be discriminated because you're not part of the LGBTQ community. That's another project that's right around the corner. Which is, hey, like if I was homeless and I wasn't gay or whatever you want to transgender or anything, I couldn't apply there.
Yeah,
and that's
not
nothing.
fair. I don't think that's fair.
That's another topic. Don't want to really get into today, but just to get to the point why I wanted to run, that was the question initially, and it's because just lack of leadership, lack of business mindset on the council. When the city of Riverside allows this foreign company. Which is that electric buses. I think it's Omni or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, the Omni ones that we paid $2 million to bring them to our city. By the way, so
it's a company that we're gonna no questions was asked is how much are these buses going to cost to make? How many employees are going to be from Riverside, the city itself, that are locally? They could be transferring employees from another headquarters from Europe to come and open up here.
Yeah.
And so, there's just no proper questions being asked and the dais. And I think that's where we lack as a city council.
Well, it's because somebody's obviously making money and they don't really care how it's going to go down, because either way they're getting money in their pocket. And the funny thing is they're bringing these Omni, like they're auto buses. Basically, it's supposed to be like an AI driven bus that goes around town and picks up people, but they still need one person in there.
California doesn't
we already
allow to
defeat the purpose, right?
Well, yeah, California doesn't allow, the state doesn't allow to have a non-operable. Yeah, right. You have to have a driver.
So the purpose
for the event that if it were to malfunction, that operator is going to be there, to defeat that, resolve that purpose.
Yeah, but the other thing is, so there's that. So already it's not saving us money because we still have to pay a person, which could be a bus driver or it could be the person that's sitting in this auto bus, right? The other thing is our current bus situation is the usage of the buses is only at like 25%. So people aren't even using the buses, So what?
Well, then you take away too the private contractors for Lyft and Uber. You know, like, okay, so we're going to say screw them. Like, I'd rather be in a vehicle with just myself if I'm going to go somewhere. If I decided, hey, I'm not going to drive because I'm going to go drink tonight or something like that. Or if I'm going to, you know, I'm going to go to the airport, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be with a bunch of 6, 7 other people. I want my privacy, you know?
Yeah.
And do you think really, and then the cost? How much do you think it's going to cost per ticket to enter this bus for 6 people? Oh, it may look cool, okay, and it may, but there's a lot of issues with it, and a lot of people I think it's going to go belly up.
Oh yeah, I think
And
so
I
too.
think to be
Our
honest-
current mayor signed the contract with these
the
guys
city
from.
council. The city council.
I saw the picture on Instagram. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, the
Just
current city council
But-
all voted. It was a 7-0 vote. It was, you know, there was no questions that asked like, how much is this really going to benefit the city of
Yeah,
Riverside?
and they're from New Zealand. Was that
They're a New Zealand company.
A New Zealand company. So we paid them $2 million to come here to
point
build
something
and
to open up a headquarters.
had
here.
to open it. Yeah.
Instead of paying somebody, you know, throughout here in this area,
Or
Like
somebody
somebody
giving
just-
maybe
yeah.
you know 4 people $500,000, start a business. The city will help you or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, it's just
But
crazy.
it's just it goes
It's
back
stupid.
to us asking, you know, having maturity on the dice, asking, you know, educated, you know, questions or business questions. That is this really going to help the taxpayers of the city of Riverside? Is this going to benefit them? It may or may not.
No.
You know,
I don't think so.
But I'm just saying, like, leave it up to that conversation,
Yeah.
but open it up, not just say, "Oh yeah, we're good.
We're
Yeah,
making
so-
a decision and
because
that's
it's going to
it.
open employment." And again, how many people are they going to employ? How much is it going to cost? And are they really going to employ Riverside-based residents, or are they going to employ outside of there? So that's where those are the questions that have to come.
And Haas is standing on the right side. You see, so he's like me. He thinks like me. He wanted to bring that change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, he didn't win. And the guy that did win is right there, like buddy with the mayor. Let's be real. And this guy is a phony. There were signs being put up. You know,
phony.
He's a
What's his name?
Yeah.
Let's call him out.
Tony Mahoney.
Close. Okay, keep going.
Tony Mahoney. There's a,
It's
Well, they call- they call-
Falcone. Phony Falcone. I remember seeing
isn't that one of
that.
the villains in one of the movies,
Yeah.
one of the shows? Falcone, the Falcone.
From Batman, I think.
Yeah, Batman.
Falcone.
Falcone's already
Falcone,
evil
yeah.
in Batman. So
Yeah, so
it turned
this guy-
into the Gotham
this
City
guy
over
can't
here,
even
man.
can't tell a story straight. Like he's lied about his age, he's lied about so much. He's such a good manipulator, he's just such a good talker that he ran around the city and got people to like him. And because he's buddy with the mayor, right? And so he's just, you know, all these people, they're just brainwashed, and it's so frustrating when you actually have good heart, good intentions, and you want to, you know, make your city better or help the people of your city, and they're sitting here believing these freaking liars that, you know, are just going to ruin your lives, and you're sitting here going, I'm here to help, I'm here to rescue you, you know. I can't do more than, you know, especially and they go lie and they try to create stories about
That's
you.
But that's
Let her
politics,
cook.
Jessica.
She's cooking.
Yeah.
Let her cook.
Yeah, so I'm
She's
human right
heated,
now.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
You know, 'cause-
No, you know,
and this
no.
is why I ran for mayor, because I care and I wanted to, you
Start
know.
moving. The next girl, she said, "Oh," I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Serious.
I guess.
No, at the end of the day, you know,
I got
at the end of the day, how I look at it is, look, I'm not taking a pay raise. I was taking a pay cut. You
Yeah.
know, it wasn't.
Yeah.
you're passionate.
I'm passionate about my city, very much so. I wear the ring and the rank cross on my hand every day.
Well, can I say something? Because I mean, you guys own businesses and you own them in Riverside.
Yeah.
So in my mind, right off the bat, is you guys know how to run businesses. You guys have successful businesses. So wouldn't it be better for somebody that has successful businesses to, if they want to get involved with the city, to help run the city instead of people that didn't even have a business? Especially your business is here, so you want other businesses to flourish like your guys's. So wouldn't it make more sense for that?
It does.
Because I mean, didn't they come for? They don't even have their own stuff going on. They had like one worked for the school or something like that.
Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
on the board. He's talking about the
Well,
They have an agenda already.
No, but like the
that's the
current
thing.
guy,
They
he
have
came
an
from New
agenda.
Orleans, right? Like he's like 26 or something, and he came from New
26.
Orleans, and he doesn't even, yeah, but he lied. Like I mean, people probably think he's older because he keeps lying about his age.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of records for him really lying about his age, but you know,
And
yes,
other
he
stuff.
can't. He didn't. I mean, he came from New Orleans. He says, you know, he has this sob story, whatever you want to call it. You know, people know the truth. They're starting to know the truth. I mean, his aunt was already living here, but he said, "Oh, the city of Riverside gave to me, so I'm giving back to Riverside." It's like, come on,
BS.
you know, I didn't even pull
bullshit.
my immigration story.
Yeah.
Like,
A
oh, I
bullshit.
came here,
Yeah.
you know, it is. Hey, I've been here my entire life. I want to give back. I truly have seen the changes in Riverside, but again, it goes back to your question: is that you don't necessarily have to have every person on the dais a business mindset. I'm not saying that at all, but it's nice to have some diversity.
Yeah.
But you look on the current council, which hasn't been the new council hasn't been sworn yet. So you just look at the current council, and I think only one of them have a business mindset, which I don't even know why he's representing the city council in the first place. I mean, this is the guy that's pushing for electric stoves, and he owns 2 family restaurants. And he's pushing the whole electric stove mandate for people.
Is that Ronaldo?
Yeah. But besides,
but nobody
that,
really
though,
likes him.
You don't.
I've heard.
You don't have this. This other business mindset that's willing to ask questions when something's brought up, not agreeing to what the what the staff reports are pushing. So there's about 400 something employees or plus that work for the city of Riverside. You have staff that do a lot of research and reporting, and then they just push this data in, and they say, we think this is best for the city. And more than half these people don't even live in the city of Riverside.
Yeah.
They don't. They live outside of it. So
Yeah.
are they really vested? Are they really invested into the city?
No.
So again, it goes back to it takes people that do want to see a change. And, we just want to have a lot of transparency with the people. I think that's what a lot of people want.
Yeah.
And again, I don't need this position or job that I was running for. They haven't certified the election. I'm always holding out. I'm always hopeful, but it wasn't looking good. It's fine. I don't need this position. I wanted it. I wanted it because I wanted to see the change. I'm tired of saying, I'm tired of talking about it. I was ready to do something about it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it didn't happen, but I'm still involved with the community, as I always will be now. And I will, and where the attention that I like to see more, and at least in the Ward 1 area, is going to be in the east side and the north side. These are areas that have been forgotten, neglected over time from the city, as well as the current council people that represented it over the years. And where you see me currently a lot is in those communities, is helping clean up an alleyway because there's kids that walk to school are going through needles or use condoms or beer bottles or ammo or magazine clips. I've seen it all. Crack pipes. And so this community called the Real Group, residents of Eastside Actor Leadership, have done something as parents and other community leaders and myself have gone in and clean it. We'll go once a month and make a presence known. So all these hoodlums that are trying to go there, they realize, people are coming in and paying attention. And that's where they've been neglected. So I just want to see this current new council that's getting sworn in next Tuesday. I would like for them to at least pay attention to the entire city, not just certain areas that they benefit from or they can get more votes from or just hear a little more noise. They need to focus on the other places as well.
That's why I'm just listening to you talk, and I've talked to you a lot about this stuff too, and it's just great because I've never had that kind of. I mean, I always looked at it as I kind of grew up in pretty rough areas. And to be honest, I never really gave a shit about my neighborhood because I was like, fuck this, I want out. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? But you guys have a lot of passion for it, and I can see it. Like, I mean, if you didn't, you're not going to be going out there cleaning up stuff. You guys are out there putting up your signs. I mean, really pushing. You guys are using your own money to work your campaigns. That says a lot because these people aren't using their own money.
Well, with politics and everything, you're allowed to raise money. I'm happy to say, and I think Jessica maybe too. I'll speak for myself because you can speak obviously for yourself. I put in some money, not a whole lot, but enough. I didn't believe in high finance campaigns. Majority of the people that were running outbidded me at least in city council race 3-1. So I believe my opponent raised over 100-something thousand. And I
because of his mommy, the mayor. Sorry.
Well,
let her cook.
yeah. I mean,
breastfed. He was breastfed.
It's facts, right? Yeah. So I'm just saying the truth, and that's what it is.
Well, that and just union input. Who's buying who and how much you have, how much to sway a vote versus me, where I was entirely the grassroots campaign. I got money from business owners. I got money from residents and myself, and we all collaborated. And the amount of money we raised was just basically the amount of money you would make as a city council representative, which is not a lot. It's barely above poverty level, which is $40,000 a year. And I really think if you're spending anything over that or raising that much money, who are you in bed with and who are you owing debt to? That's what I think. Yeah. So for me, it was more of the people route. we came in second place. We are not looking like we're going to a runoff, and that's fine. It's unfortunate, but I'm going to be around. I'm going to run again, and I'm still going to be involved. But I just want people to know, totally fine to raise money, but just think where that money came from. Because it does take money to fund these campaigns, and as time goes on, it is expensive. But yes, for me at least, and I think for you too, Jessica, I think you put a lot of your own personal money, time, and everything else into it, more than I think other people did. You probably put in, $30,000 or so, or I don't know how much. But
well, if you count my advertising that I own, yeah. It was
so.
up
But
there.
but basically, again, like for me, again, that's what it is, and
Yeah.
Well, it just says a lot about you guys, though. You know what I mean? I mean, you guys are out there putting in the work. You guys are, on your own two legs going out there doing things.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
It is hot in this room, man. Woo!
Because we were cooking right now.
We were cooking.
Sorry.
We are
Warmed
running
up
out
the
of time, though. But I do want to say, okay, because you've done a lot in your life right now with everything that you've been doing. But what is your next step? Where do you want to go from here?
I'm going to keep growing my business. I look forward to venturing other businesses and branching out to other things as well over the next several years. A lot of people that did support me really are praying that I still stay involved in the community. A lot of people are still wanting for me to run again in 4 years. That's the term. And absolutely, I will consider that. And but in the meantime, from now, and let's just say a 4-year time span, is keep growing my business, keep doing what I'm doing, keep grinding, and open up another business venture, and basically just go from there. Keep giving back and staying involved with the community.
Okay, and if I can ask you, so everything that you've done, from where you came from. If you can just tell us who are you deep inside? Like if your heart can speak to us, what would it say who you are from everything that you've done in your life? Who are you?
I'm just kind of I'm just a grinder, man. I'm a very transparent person. I literally tell people how it is, and sometimes me being too truthful hurts people sometimes. But that's just me. I cannot lie to people. I don't want to tell people what they want to hear. I'm going to tell them what they should hear, meaning that it's the truth. That this is what it means. And I'm sorry if my delivery may not be the best, but this is how I feel about it. Whether it's a transaction or which is just me talking to a person one-on-one. Over the years, I've grown to change my mind on certain things that I wasn't 10 years ago, but that's part of life and growing up. But I've always just be real, just be true to yourself. And I know it sounds really cliche because a lot of people try to say that, but really, and I think Jessica and you guys may start to get that, there's no BS with me. I just tell people this is what it is. You like it. I know tomorrow I'm going to have new opportunities, more business, more stuff that's going to open up for me and continue on that route. And that's what I'm just going to keep going. So.
Well, man, I see you doing big things, man, and you're just going to keep growing. I can see it.
Yeah, well, that's if you got to keep growing.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
Citrus Cowboy.
That's a good one.
I've fallen off those citrus picking ladders before. So I've had my tough times, but I'm really proud of it, and I appreciate you guys having me on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
No problem at all. So
we have our slogan. We always have all our guests say, if you could just look at the camera and say, "Shed the sheep."
So I think, where's the camera?
Over the camera,
This
I got
one right
like 5
here?
cameras.
This one right here.
Got the bald spot camera here. No, I'm kidding. Shed the sheep. Is that it?
Yeah, thank you.
I don't know. Okay.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
So thank you, everybody. If they can go like and subscribe, we appreciate everybody watching. So Shed the Sheep, and I'm How's Over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Rico Savage.
I'm Jessica Q.
And we are out.
Cool.